Thank you for joining us. For the Office of the Deputy Governor, I'm Communications Officer 2, Eusa Z and I'm happy to be joined by one of my absolutely favorite guests, and we haven't had the opportunity to speak in this forum in a while. Please, Dr. George, thank you for being here with us.
I am so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
So for those members of the public who aren't aware, Dr. George is the first ever director of the recently established Virgin Islands Public Service Learning Institute. And I say recently established because, believe it or not, we're still in about that two-year window.
Two-year window.
And truth be told, the work that the Institute has been championing thus far has been absolutely incredible. A lot of things have been happening behind the scenes, so persons aren't aware of the wheels that are turning. But I think at the forefront of this public service, and surely at the forefront of public officers, is opportunities that are becoming available because of the work that you and the Institute have been doing. So we're here before the public now. It's halfway through 2025. And we'd like to kind of shine some light on those achievements, those incredible achievements, and in some cases, historic achievements that we have championed. And most importantly, begin to look towards the future, because there is growth in store for the Institute.
Indeed.
So I'll start here, Dr. George. You and I were having a conversation off camera, and what we discovered was that so far in 2025, across all of the courses that have been put on, it is estimated that there have been approximately 10,000 registrations. Now, we have a service of about 2,500 public officers. So when you look at 2,500 public officers and look at about 10,000 registration for courses, it tells me one thing. It tells me that those 2,500 public officers, number one, want to learn, and number two, want to become better. I'll ask you this to start. How has the Institute been working to ensure you can meet the needs of those 2,500 public officers?
All right, thank you, Mr. Adams, and I'm so happy to be here yet again to speak about the Virgin Islands Public Service Learning Institute. And it's such a joy every time when I have to speak about it, because, you know, our main goal, our main purpose is to strengthen the capability and the readiness of the Virgin Islands Public Service. And definitely, as we equip them, we want them to make a difference in the service that comes through the public offices of the government. And so that is one of the main reasons why we exist. And in so doing, learning, education has been the focus. In every aspect, we have been doing our best to encourage public officers to upskill, to improve their way of doing things. Let's look at the 21st century best practices. And we have been doing our best to pass on these kinds of skills and this up-to-date information to public officers. We have been looking at the social skills development. We have been looking at the whole person as an individual, as a public officer, yes, but as a person, a professional within the public service. We have been looking at improving or helping persons to improve in their specialties, which would include, if you're an accountant, we have been running accounting courses. If you're into
tempted to apply.
You need to. If you are in the legal arm, we have done things for the legal. Law enforcement, definitely we have been working hard. We're getting some things going. So in the specialty areas, we are also looking at rolling out continuous training, so that our public officers can be the best. If you've been around the Deputy Governor, you know exactly what his goal is, and it has become our goal as well, to have a world-class public service. And that is not just a cliche. The things that we are doing, the programs that we are running, the initiatives that we are taking, they are all geared towards improving the public service. And not just the public service individuals,
Yes.
but the service.
The
I really want to stress that part, the organization of public service.
Thank you. And I think one of the ways the Institute has been doing that is making it absolutely easy for public officers to access this training. And I'll say that to segue into this. One of the most critical conversations throughout the territory now is law enforcement, and you mentioned it a bit just now. We're keenly looking at law enforcement, we're keenly looking at our law enforcement agencies. I think on the public side, and even us inside the public service who have a bit of a hand in law enforcement, we're looking and trying to see how we can make these systems function better.
Yes.
We recently had part 2 of our law enforcement review published. And
Yes.
as an onset of that, we recognized there is a need to maybe look beyond the systems and, as you said, look at the individuals. And so I know VIPSLI has been working hard to step in and help to fill the gap in ensuring that our law enforcement officers are able to receive the training that is necessary.
Yes.
Now, you and I are sitting right now at the law enforcement Marine base.
Yes.
In one of the training rooms.
Yes, it is.
VIPSLI has held trainings
Yes.
here. Law enforcement officers are on a weekly basis receiving training here. But I think one of the anthems of the Office of the Deputy Governor this year has been that there is always more to come.
There's always more to come.
VIPSLI, tell us a little bit about what VIPSLI is doing to help to enhance our law enforcement officers.
Yes. So we have, earlier this year, we held the ECAT program,
Yes.
where we had about 50 public
Yes, and
officers.
that's the emergency care and treatment.
Yes, trained here, and we did some promo on that, so persons would have seen that. And this is our second year that we are running that. We are making that an annual program.
Yes.
So the emergency care and treatment program is becoming an annual program for us that we are seeking to engage all law enforcement agencies in that area. And we have been doing other things. And what I want to talk about, though, is we are looking forward to rolling up some leadership training.
Yeah.
We have noted very keenly, and the reports have shown that we have a gap.
Yes.
And that gap is those persons who are currently in the leadership seats and those persons who
are
may be
preparing,
prepared
yeah.
to take over these chairs. So we have to begin to prepare them. So we are looking at rolling out a leadership training program, an associate degree, 2-year program for law enforcement officers.
Dr. George, I'm
Yes.
going to stop you.
Why?
Because I think you may have said it really casually, but what you just spoke of is once again something incredibly historic. Say it one more time, please.
A law enforcement associate's degree, we're going to be rolling out through a reputable, well-known institution here in the Caribbean, actually, with its original base coming out of America. And so we want to, as we flesh that out, we are not in the final stages yet. So we are going to just basically let you know it's coming.
Wow.
We have already asked the agencies to let us know who the
Yes.
persons would be, who will be training. We have started to receive the data on the individuals who will be going forward with this training. We are looking at doing a full cohort of 25 persons, and that will include persons from immigration, from
Wow.
customs, police, and the prison. And at the end of that, we would have begun to train
Yes.
the next
Yes.
cohort of leaders for this law enforcement agencies.
An associate degree program for law enforcement.
Yeah, courses, they're going to be doing courses out of that, human rights, leadership, of course, policing, and in all the different areas, trauma, of course, ethics, and of course, the specialty areas of immigration, customs will be their electives. Immigration, customs, fire, and prison. That will be the elective. They'll have an opportunity for an attachment to work as an intern
Yes.
in whether they want to do it in the one they're currently
Yes.
in or in one of the others. So those opportunities will be there that they can continue to learn.
So
I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually very excited to
Yeah.
see it roll out.
Me too.
And we are excited to know that we are able to do something in this
Yes,
area
yes.
for the law enforcement agencies.
And I think it goes to show that we all really have a part to play in this
Yes.
great picture of making our law enforcement what we know it can be and what we know it needs to be. So once again, before I move on, the Virgin Islands Public Service Learning Institute is on the cusp, really, of introducing an associate degree program for law enforcement. And I'll say this next, Dr. George. On that same note, it seems like education, especially at the tertiary level, is going to become one of the areas that we push. Earlier this year, you had the opportunity to go on a mission with the Premier and his delegation to Asia, the Asia Pacific region. I know you were with him directly for a specific part, but
Yes.
there was a point in which you broke off from the group
Yes.
and you went to go deal with some very important business for VIPSLI.
Yes. Yes.
And I know that you came back with some incredible results and news. But before we get to that, tell me a little bit about what that trip meant to you as a director of VIPSLI.
Oh, touched my
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
It was absolutely a game changer for me personally to be given the opportunity to travel to the Asian Pacific and to not just travel, but to spend a little time in a different culture
Yes.
and see areas that we can bring back to improve what we do here in the BVI. I was with the Premier, as you said, a delegation for a period of time. And then I went to some other areas in Asia that they didn't go to, but they went in a different direction
Yeah.
but my sole focus was education. My
Yes.
sole focus was to visit those institutions in the Asian Pacific that have so graciously
Yes.
extended to the Virgin Islands scholarship
Yes,
opportunities
incredible opportunities.
for Virgin Islanders. I'm jumping on board with this to bring on board the public officers in a very significant way, because I realize it's an opportunity not just for others outside the public service, but also for public officers. And I should say that I don't know if it came out of this trip, but we do have one public officer taking up the opportunity this year.
Wow.
He's leaving in August.
He's about to leave.
Yes, and he will be going to one of the institutions that I visited there in Macau, the St. Joseph University.
Okay.
He's going to be doing a bachelor's degree in architecture.
Wow.
And that is incredible, absolutely incredible. Full tuition fees covered, and we are paying a portion of it.
Yes.
But definitely, he will gain some experience that cannot be compared. I sat in the institute. I walked through the aisles of it, and I went to the various stations, the various classrooms, and I saw what they're offering there. Outside of the academics, there's going to be a cultural enrichment, and there's going to be an overall transformation for anyone who goes to study in the classrooms in these universities in Asia. Along with that particular institute, he's going to be in Macau. There's another one, the tourism university there, that also we had. Just last week, Mr. Adams, we saw that there will be two others going to the culinary arts program there in Macau again.
So we're deepening that relationship.
Yes, we certainly are. And you would have heard, I don't know if you did, but out of that partnership with that tourism institute, there's going to be an exchange program developed with students from the university, not BVI Islanders, who will be able to do their internship in the BVI at Little Dixby Hotel. That's awesome. But my excitement can continue with that, because you know, it's an opportunity that we have not tapped into
Yes.
enough.
Yes.
And I am here to sound the alarm. That's one of the key reasons I went, so I could come back
Yes.
and speak to this thing with excitement and with information that any student that decides to go and study in any of these institutions will get the best level of education that they could get at a cost-effective price
And I think
for
that's,
us in the Virgin
that's
Islands.
absolutely important. Truth be told, we're living in trying economic times, and to be able to know that the institute and these massive universities and schools entirely across the world are able to make a contribution like this to our people,
Yes.
are able to put their hands out and say, let us help you, let us work together to make these fields better. I think
Yes.
that's really, really
Yes.
good.
Yes.
And in the context of education and advancing, I think one of the goals of that is to be able to prepare our future leaders. And next up, I want to touch a little bit about CARICAD.
Okay, before you move on
Yes,
to
of
that, though,
course.
I want to say to you that the institutes that we are, universities that we're in contact with, Hong Kong, we have some in Hong Kong,
Oh,
we have some in Macau, we have some in Singapore.
yes.
I was able to go to Singapore. We do have in China as well. And then we went to Taiwan. I got to mention that our first student who took up the offer to go to
Yes.
Asia was in Taiwan. She graduated this
Wow.
year, June,
Wow.
with top credentials.
Wow.
Master's degree in public health administration, but highly, highly recognized
Wow.
in that institution for the work that she did. So we have an additional good name
Yes.
because of the students that we have
Yes.
sent. And I have to add as well, in that same university, the Taipei Medical, where she was, when I sat with the international agent there, they said to me that this young lady has set such a high bar for you.
Wow.
Not only that, we are opening up some more opportunities for more of your students to come.
And this is Miss Tisa Donovan,
Yes,
right?
it is. Yes, it is. And it definitely, they're offering full scholarships, Mr. Adams. 100% covered at some of what I would consider right now the best
Yes.
universities in the world. I took tours, and on that tour, they took me to the cancer area. I was incredible to see the level of research that they are doing, the level of equipment that they have, and I am sure very soon they will come up with some new information. Yes, I believe.
Wow.
But all in all, on my tour to those 5 areas in Asia, and my focus on educational opportunities, I say publicly, you can never make a mistake if you choose to go to one of those. And I will encourage anybody who has the will to do so to go after it. Go after it.
Wow.
Cost effective,
Yes.
lovely environment, top-notch education, and you're going to leave there transformed.
So, in that same context now, I know we've just wrapped up what we call our Emerging Leaders Training, and the Deputy Governor spoke recently to it. This is where we've kind of looked at the public service, looked at our leaders, looked at those who are preparing or have the vision to step up and into those roles that are going to become available. Can you speak a little bit to how CARICAD has worked with us to develop this program?
Okay, so the Emerging Leaders Development Program, we started our first phase with CARICAD.
Yes.
It's an overarching program that we are trying to put together. We have put together to equip the next set of leaders in the public service. So we have had 3 cohorts so far that have been identified, persons who could become potential leaders in these top positions in government. And CARICAD did our first academic theoretical arm of it. That's what I want to call it, where they expose them to several broad areas of leadership and had them do some practicals, produce projects, work on what I want to call themselves as a leader, show them who they were with the various surveys and testings that they did. And this spanned 3 months. It was a 3 months, every week training, study project that all public officers went through. And after that program, we moved into phase 2, and that is an individual assessment of the person now.
Yes.
You as a leader, branching out of that, we will now be tailoring specific guidelines
based on what you need.
based on what every individual person needs. And so our first cohort was able to complete that leg. We got the report back, and we are getting ready to
go again.
move forward with executing and further developing these individuals as leaders in the public service. You know, we have had a history over the years of just saying, okay, you have moved up the scale, you go into the position. But we have failed at really preparing persons to be strong leaders. And that is the goal of this program, that we will fill that gap. The next generation of public officers, we would have done whatever we can
to get them prepared,
to move the public service to the next level.
And you know, I think this might be crazy, right? But I'm not a part of the program. I have some co-workers who are, and even from the outside, I can tell you that it's been impactful. There were some very specific lines and I guess quotes from the meetings that are always used. So there were some co-workers who were always reminding themselves to stay above the line.
Exactly.
Even if you have to straddle, just stay above the line at all times, and you try your best to think well and act well, especially while interacting with others, analyze situations better. So it's definitely making an impact, and I think it's creating a bit of a community as well.
Yes.
Which as leaders, you need that.
Yes.
As a leader, you need to be able to know that you have people that you can stand with and count on around you. So I think that's a very impactful program, especially as we prepare. Some leaders in the public service are preparing to begin their transition.
Yes.
We have a responsibility to ensure that there is always people who can step up and carry the mantle forward.
So we saw some of the areas that they covered, and I mentioned this briefly before: leadership identity, emotional intelligence, team development, resilience, and policy engagement. Session also covers strategic planning and public financial management, human resource leadership, and ethical governance, concluding with a project-based application assignment. So we had all 60 plus persons who, within 3 cohorts, who participated in that CARACAD leg. We have had our very first cohort who moved on to the second phase, and so they did the individual assessment, where we brought in a consultant and she did individual assessments with each person. She has recently sent us the report of her findings. And so we are going to be using that now to further develop our cohort 1. And we follow with cohort 2 and 3 with the same pattern as we seek to continue to develop our public officers for leadership.
I want to pause, Dr. George, because we've been talking for a few minutes now, and I've actually lost count of the amount of incredible things that the Institute has been doing. This institute, and crazy enough, you and I sat physically close together in the early days of this institute. I watched you work to build the frameworks and the systems together. And to see it to this point today, to see the institute grow from an idea of the deputy governor, to really now become a staple of development in the public service. There were hardly any conversations that the name VIPSLI isn't called in.
Wow.
And I think before I go any further, I have a responsibility on behalf of myself and the public officers, and I think eventually this entire territory,
Yes.
to thank you for the work that you've been championing.
Thank you.
I know you have an absolutely strong team behind
Yes,
you,
definitely.
but the leadership that you provide is evident. And I think what you've been able to accomplish thus far is absolutely incredible. And before we go and run out of time, I want to touch a few more subjects.
Okay.
Firstly, the last time you and I spoke was at our end of year
Yes.
report. We normally try to do one of these at the end and the middle of a year
Yes.
to provide a general overview. And when we spoke, we made a big announcement.
Yes.
We announced that in 2025, we'll be introducing a certification program for customer service.
Yes. Yes.
That's our partnership with the
Yes.
Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC.
Yes.
Halfway through the year now, I know it hasn't started as yet formally,
started.
but it has?
Yes.
Well, there we go. Can you tell us a little bit more of how we've gotten
Yes,
so
Mr.
far?
Adams. So we have signed the contract and we are
Yes.
well on our way
Oh, wow.
with our initial fleshing out of exactly where we're going. As I said,
Yes.
it is an authentic program geared towards the BVI.
Just for us.
Yes,
Wow.
and that is what they're doing. And so we've been sitting in meetings and we are getting ready in the next week and a half to bring in our first cohort and actually start working with them with the training. This is what we're going to be calling this group, this particular group, or train the trainers. Because just like how CXC functions in every other
Yes.
area, you have persons on the ground that can teach the program. It's not going to be a classroom sit down teach. It's going to be more of an implementation,
Yes.
execution of what we want to see in our public service under the banner of customer service.
And yes.
So it is moving, and we'll make a big noise about
Yes,
it very,
we
very
will.
soon. I know you're going to do that as we roll out, because we want to see some standards
Yes.
in our public service
yes.
when it comes to customer service.
Yes.
And these are the things that we are going to standardize. These are the things that we are going to be passing on in every office, every unit, every ministry. That must permeate the entire service. So when you go for a visit to any office, the service must be of the same high standard, because we are going to change that culture and transform it for what we want. And we are beginning with this, that this will become, and every public officer can have an opportunity to do this course, but we're going to start with our front-end people,
Yes.
the ones who are currently in those front-end chairs. Those are the ones we want to begin with, and new persons coming in, everybody will be exposed.
And I like to say this. I think you started very well by saying that this program is specifically tailored to the Virgin Islands. We have, I think, a unique environment that we live in, and we've had our struggles with customer service inside of the public service, which we've been working, admittedly, over the past few years to right that ship. But the fact that we've been able to tailor this program speaks to one thing, that we've been listening. I think we've spent the past few years listening to what the public has been
Yes.
saying. We've listened to the complaints, we've listened to the frustrated clients, we've listened to those who have been absolutely angry at us. And though we've done work over the years, we're now saying, we're listening to what you're saying, and we're using that as the foundation
Yes.
to become better.
Yes.
Which is why I have so much faith that this program is going to be impactful, because it's going to address the various nuances that the public has been crying out and experiencing over the past few years.
So what I find significant about the program is we have had several groups come through
Wow.
and share their customer service idea. And for those who went to those programs, it made a difference. What this is we are developing our own standards that we will be teaching, we will be living, we will be passing on to everybody. So it's not somebody come in and share something and tell us, go ahead and do it. We are going to be doing it as we go along, and everybody will be able to be a part of that change. So it's a literal game changer that I'm looking forward to. Over the next couple of years, we should see culture developing that is ours at a very high standard.
Wow.
Called in the customer service
So
area.
a change is coming, and
I'm looking forward.
absolutely impossible for that change to just stay within the public service.
No.
I think we can expect to see it begin to spread outside of our walls and then inspire a wider change. We were sitting in this classroom right now. We have a good view of Tortola. We have a good view of Road Town, a good view of Upper Road Town, etc. And I'm looking at it. Imagining. I'm imagining the change, and I can almost see it.
Yes,
and
we want to really.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that. And of course, the public is going to hear a bit more as we get closer to that date. Dr. George, as we begin to wind down this conversation, I wanted to make reference to this. I know you've launched a program, your foundation's program. We recognize that there are some public officers who need a bit of support, who need us to be a bit more present with them and meet them at their level.
Yes.
Can you speak to that program and then tell us a bit about the impact that it's been having?
Mr. Adams, I'm a teacher by profession, and I'm a teacher at heart. And I would like to see every person get the necessary help and skill to be a success in life.
Yes.
And I took this with me when I came to this job, because I realized that we're going to have persons at varying levels. And truth be told, very quickly I realized that I did have those varying levels. And so my thought moved from just being a thought to some action, to some planning, some proposal to get something in place for those persons who cannot benefit from all the other things that I'm offering until they get the foundation. And I'm going to be I'm very general with what I'm saying for a particular reason. And so the foundation pieces that were missing, we started a program where I think we started with like 20 persons who were enrolled and engaged with getting these foundation pieces, basics of learning. Just 2 weeks ago, we got the first report and certificates to distribute to the individuals who have done incredibly well.
Congratulations
in moving themselves from where they were in January to a different level academically by June. And we are so proud of them. They're not completed yet, but the strides that they have made is amazing. It only takes a willing heart, a willing mind, somebody who wants to be and wants to do something different with themselves. And so we have had several of them who have been persevering, and because of them, I've had many others knocking on the doors and saying, are you going to open it up again? So my answer to you now is yes, we will be doing another cohort
there you have it.
coming out where persons can improve in these foundation basic skills. It has been doing incredible work with those persons who have decided this is how I want to move forward. And this is for those who are able to master and move into the level where they're now able to move on to the next level. We are allowing them or making sure that they move on to receive their high school certification through the ASEP program. So it's not going to stop with them just doing this. We want them to move on until they get to the level where they're now comfortable in and able to master the things that are the basic in learning.
I don't think there's anything else that I can add on to there.
Yes.
Absolutely incredible.
Yes.
And there's one more that I want to touch before we leave. Retire ready.
Retirement ready.
The
That
deputy
brings
governor.
such a smile to my heart, to my mind.
Do not get too excited, Dr. George. Please. So
Retirement ready.
the deputy governor has made his July monthly message focused on the Retire Ready program. We worked very closely with HR to redesign, re-engineer our retirement program.
Yes.
We've made it more people-focused. We've made it more about meeting the needs of these individuals who are on the cusp of probably one of the biggest decisions they've ever made, on the cusp of an incredibly unique change in their life. It's for some it's a drastic change, for some it's a transition. But nonetheless, I think, as the deputy governor said, you go from working for 25 years,
Yes.
getting up every morning and getting ready, to waking up one day and not having anywhere to go. And so a part of that process is VIPSLI.
Yes.
VIPSLI now has a role to play. Can you speak a little bit to what VIPSLI is doing to be a part of the Retire Ready process?
So we took the information
Yes.
that was shared and we developed a 3-day course for persons who are saying, I am thinking about retiring, or I'm ready to retire, or I am about to retire. And we begun to share with those persons in various courses on areas that are necessary if you are going to retire. Do you have this in place?
Yes.
Do you have that in place? And those things included financial planning. It included the pension and literacy. It included health matters, wellness, psychological readiness. And the program aims to show a holistic picture of your preparation to live, as you said earlier, a day-to-day job with a salary attached
Yes.
to where that will no longer be, but you have to now live. And how you will. Have you prepared for that next phase of your life? And we had various speakers come through, persons from the public service, as well as persons from the private sector. We had persons like Social Security. It was just an incredible 3 days. And, you know, can I say that I saw tears, and I saw smiles, I saw laughter, I heard ahs, you know, so many different expressions when they went through the package that was prepared. So that was our first one we did this year, and we intend to do one more in the month of October with a different batch. When we set out the registration, we had over 100 persons register. And so we had to come with some creative way to do this. We had to now narrow the age range in. We had to narrow in some things to bring it down a bit, and get some persons to wait for the next grouping. But the
I think
retirement,
it just goes to show that we have a lot of persons who qualify, and so we have work to do to get them ready.
Get them ready, get them to understand that the years that they spend in a day-to-day going to work must have a preparation for what's going to happen after that. And so that's what that course did, and that's what we're intending to do for all those courses. As a matter of fact, coming into 2026, we intend to extend the years a little bit. We realize that if a person is about to retire and now learning some of this information, it's a little bit too late. So 5 years in?
Yes, right. So you have time to make changes and prepare yourself. Understood. So Dr. George, we are just about out of time. And I'll give you this opportunity now, as the first director of VIPSLI, your closing remarks to public officers.
My closing remarks is, thank you so much for the opportunity to serve in the public service in the Virgin Islands Public Service Learning Institute. It has been absolutely incredible. I'm so grateful for being able to serve my country in this way. And the work of VIPSLI is guided by a simple but powerful mission: to build a public service that is capable, courageous, and committed to excellence, whether through training, mentorship, international exposure, or foundational skill building.
Yes.
We remain focused on equipping every officer with the tools to thrive and serve at their highest standard. Thank you for the opportunity to share this afternoon in this way. And to public officers, come see us. Come and see us. Speak with us. We want you to get everything that is available for you. Thank you so very much.
And thank you for speaking with me, Dr. George. So this has been our mid-year report. So we'll be back one more time throughout the year, and public officers, until we get there, are going to be seeing things from us and to keep abreast of what's happening in the Institute. On behalf of the government of the Virgin Islands, the Office of the Deputy Governor, I'm Communications Officer 2, Eusa Z Adams, saying thank you for joining us, and I'll see you next time.